Good morning, it's Crazy Cheap Chick, and I'm back from the grocery store. In a moment, I'll show you what I got. I spent less this week because it's just John Wayne and I. Mom's back home, her remodel's done. It turned out gorgeous, and she really didn't ramp up my grocery bill that much anyway because my mom eats like a bird. She's tiny. And I'll also show you what I got at Goodwill. Didn't spend a lot because you know I'm trying to really curtail my spending, but I did find a couple of things. And then I want to talk about how to deal with anxiety. If you're like me, every time you go to the grocery store, you're feeling pretty anxious when you see those prices going up. So let's talk about some ways to calm down the anxiety. Just got back from Dillon's and I spent $52.78 pre-tax. That's a little deceiving because I had a $7 credit from last week. They had overcharged me for some stuff. I contacted them and they put a credit on my account. I only bought one thing full price, and that was these broccoli crowns, which were $2.71. And then these items here were on sale. The milk was $1.59, and they had this great promotion I've never seen before on cheese. On Sargento cheese, buy two, get three free. And the regular price is $3.99, so it works out to about $1.60 a package for this cheese. That's a lot of cheese. Everything here is clearance. Now, last week, you may have noticed I got a bunch of Starbucks coffee for $2.50 a package. This week, they had a promotion on Starbucks. Buy 5, save $1, and it included this. With that $1 off, all 5 of these rang up. You got it for $1.50. I really don't care what coffee I drink. It all tastes the same to me, like sugar and cream, because I put so much in it. And it doesn't bother me that it says iced coffee blend. Coffee's coffee. Then I found this half and half for $3.06. Expiration date is March 17th. Today's March 10th, so I'll have no trouble using that in 7 days. Found a roast for $12.87. It had been $21.31. And I found these classic garlic and herb pork chops. I don't know what they had originally been, but they were $2.56. Tide. They had Tide on clearance for $3.49. I went ahead and got 2 of those. They had these peas marked down to $2.02. I think they had been $4.99. Got some Knox concentrated chicken stock. It was only $1.75, and that means I don't have to buy those boxes or cans of chicken broth for a long time. This was serendipitous. I just ran out of allspice, and this allspice is $1.26. Says it had been $3.99. I think we're going to have some tacos this week, so salsa, $2.12. Now, this is not healthy, but it's delicious. Probably, I don't know, I've never had them. And the red net bag is 99 cents. So I got, 7 oranges for 99 cents, 5 limes and a lemon for 99 cents. This, they've already started the salsa for me. They've got 5 or 6 tomatoes and a bunch of peppers. These are poblano, and these are probably hot peppers. And then 3 squash for 99 cents. So anyway, that's what I got. I'm going to go to another store later today. I have to run an errand. There's another Dillon store close by, so I'm going to run in there real quick, just see if they have anything. But I can tell you, I am having beef and broccoli this week. I am going to have grilled cheese with some kind of side. I'm going to have pork chops with roasted mashed potatoes. I'm going to have a roast, probably with carrots and potatoes and celery. And that will be more than one meal. The leftover roast, I think I'll make into chili. I went to a second Dillon store and spent $40.84. So between the 2 stores today, I came in at $93.62 for the week. And we should have plenty of food. We are going to be traveling this week. We have to go up to Iowa, pick something up. We'll come home and spend the night, and then we have to go down to Denton, Texas. So that's why I needed these sausage rolls. I'm going to try to make some Subway style sandwiches that I can pack and take on the road so we don't end up eating fast food. Anyway, these sausage rolls were $3.99. This red pepper was $1.59. Seems kind of high, doesn't it? This green pepper, which must be straight out of the field, it's still got a bunch of mud on it, was 99 cents. This package of bacon was on sale for $3.99. The green leaf lettuce was $3.49. I think it's normally $3.99. I had a 50-cent off coupon. This giant tomato, which I wanted so I could just slice it and have it fit a whole sandwich, kind of dumb, was $2.59, kind of high. These bananas were $1.04. Cucumber, $1.50. Of course, by going to the second store, I was hoping I would find some of the stuff I needed on sale, like the buns and lettuce, but I really didn't. I know this stuff isn't healthy, but neither is McDonald's or Burger King or anywhere else that we would probably stop and have lunch. So that's why I'm making those sub sandwiches to take with us. And then I looked around. I found a couple of clearance items I went ahead and picked up. This just sounded interesting to me. It's ranch dressing, and it says pickle flavored ranch, and it was $2.49. So I thought I would try that out. I usually make my own dressing, but this had been $4.79, marked down to $1.68. Champagne vinaigrette. Sometimes you just have to give yourself a little treat to keep yourself interested in what you're making so you don't eat out. This sour cream dip with spinach in it's $1.15. And then I got this little thing of hummus for $1.40. And this guac was $2.46. Now, when I make a Subway sandwich, I hate mayonnaise. I just can't stand it. And so I always use guac instead of mayonnaise. I could probably also use this if I would rather. And I'm probably going to take this on the trip too with some carrots, and we'll probably have carrots along with our sandwich. And then I've got those chips that I bought and oranges that I bought. I found this nice loaf of bread for $2.01. And the only reason I bought this, I'm going to have to put it in the freezer. But since I got all that cheese, we're going to be having grilled cheese sandwiches probably once a week for the next month. And so I thought these would make really good grilled cheese sandwiches. So we're also going to have BLTs. That's one of my favorite meals. I know it's also not the healthiest, but I love them. I love a BLT. And I've got lots of potatoes that I could do sides with the BLTs. We've got our Subway style sandwiches to take on the road for lunches. I'm so curious about this. I'm going to have to try it. And I got all these carrots last week, so let's try it in this ranch dressing. Tastes about like regular ranch, but I do taste the pickle. These are just square cheese puffs. Today I spent $25.34 at Goodwill. You know I'm trying to slow my roll at Goodwill, and plus their prices have just gotten so high. But I did find this shirt super soft, and I like the color. It's brand new, still had its tag on it. Looks like it was $6.98 at Walmart. I paid $2.44 on it because today was half price off blue tags, and I also got senior discount. But senior discount doesn't apply to the half off tags. Then I got this sweatshirt just for around the house. It was a blue tag, so it rang up $3.44. It's a Knox Rose, but I really kind of like it. Then I got these pants, and I'm super excited about the pants. The pants are Ann Taylor and curvy Ann Taylor. And they were half off, so $3.94. And this a dress. And I really like this dress quite a bit. I really like the color. It's a Lands' End dress. And it wasn't half off. I had to pay $7.60 for this dress. And I also bought this. Now, this is a mini bundt cake maker. Probably the last thing in the world I need. And I'm trying to convince myself to quit buying so many kitchen gadgets. But I just thought it would be fun to do with the grandkids. Plus, I really like a mini bundt cake now and then. Goodwill was having a dollar sale today, so anything with a blue tag was $1. And I had about a half hour to kill, so I ran in there between appointments. I didn't have time to try anything on, though. I may have passed on this one had I tried it on. It's a Christopher & Banks, but it's a petite, and it's a little tight across the chest. I don't know, but it's $1. Then I do really like this shirt. It is a Karen Scott, and it was $1. And my favorite was this sweater that I got at C.J. Banks, and it was $1. I said I wanted to talk about anxiety, and I'll make a confession. I'm a pretty anxious person. I think it's partially DNA. I think I come from a long line of anxious people. In fact, one of my grandmas used to say, "Now, honey, you know I have problems with my nerves. You know I have problems with my nerves." Well, what she was really trying to say, that's an old-fashioned way of saying, I feel really anxious. And sometimes I feel really anxious. And the other day, John Wayne said, "You know, I don't think your emotions are out of control or abnormal." He said, "Right now we are living in a bit of a emotional war zone." And what he meant by that was it feels like there's bombs dropping all around us. Even if they're not hitting you, you still feel the impact. You feel the ground shake. You see the damage. And we've had some things happen in our life. We had a really good friend die, much younger than us, unexpectedly. We've had friends in the hospital. We've had family in the hospital. We have cancer patients in our family. We, have the same financial stresses everyone else does. You go to the grocery store and look at the price of eggs and you're like, ugh. So even when the bombs don't hit you personally, you still feel it, and it makes you feel a little anxious. And so I'm going to tell you some of the ways that I cope with anxiety, and maybe they will help you as well. And you can share anything that you do to help with anxiety. Maybe you'll help me. One thing I use is Lavender Essential Oil. I just really like the smell of it. And there's actual studies that have shown that lavender oil can be as effective as Xanax at calming anxiety. Now, I don't know if I believe that or not, but I do like the scent. It's very inexpensive, and I do think it is calming. Another thing I like to do is drink a cup of hot tea. When I'm feeling particularly anxious, I find that sometimes if I just take a moment, 10 minutes, just the act of warming up the water, opening up the tea bag, steeping it, sitting down, and drinking it, just gives my body a chance to relax and calm down. And I don't really think it matters what type of tea it is. I really like ginger, peach, turmeric, or green tea, but it really doesn't matter what tea. It's just the act of engaging in an activity that doesn't require a lot of mental effort, and then taking a moment to sit down and gather yourself. Another thing is when I'm getting anxious, I notice sometimes I don't eat as healthy. I'll skip meals, or I'll eat fast food, or I won't make healthy meals at home even, just because I'm stressed out. I just go for whatever's easy and fast. And healthy food is really important to keeping that anxiety down. I do believe that. So try to eat healthy when you're feeling out of sorts. Also, a good night's sleep. How often have you felt really anxious and you were able to finally get a good night's sleep, and you wake up the next morning with a whole different outlook on life? Sleep is so important. So sometimes really all we need is a nap and a snack. And we feel better. So if you're struggling, try to eat a little better, try to get enough sleep. Now, something that helps me a lot is a massage. But massages are expensive. So John Wayne and I did, I'm going to say, invest in a massage chair. We bought it off Facebook Marketplace. I think we paid about $800 for it, which sounds like a ton of money, but those things brand new. This particular model was about $8,000 brand new, and it worked fine. And a massage is about $100, if not more now. I don't know what they cost. Just having someone give you a massage, or even if it's a massage chair, something that's very relaxing and is releasing some of that tension from your muscles, can really help with the anxiety. Now, this next thing may sound a little crazy to you, but I think there's some scientific evidence behind it. And give me just a second. It's this. This is a weighted blanket. It's a blanket, it's got beads in it, it's very heavy, and if you sleep under it, it helps you get a good night's sleep. I think the theory behind the weighted blankets is it's grounding you, it's helping you feel safe and secure, and I kind of buy into that, and I'll tell you why. It's much like a hug. When someone gives you a hug, it releases those feel-good chemicals in your brain. All it is pressure. It's that feeling of being squeezed that releases those chemicals. And so it's kind of the same with a weighted blanket. When you have a weighted blanket on you, it helps you feel safe and secure and grounded, and it feels like a hug. It's like a cloth hug, I guess I would say. Something else I have read about weighted blankets is some people claim they really help with chronic pain. I think if you have a pet, pets can be a great comfort and release. Just the petting of the animal and the cuddling with an animal. It's similar to a hug from a human. They love you unconditionally. So animals often can lower your anxiety. Now, something that helps me a lot, though I really don't like it, is exercise. And when I'm going through a particularly anxious time, I know if I get outside, especially in nature, and move, that I will feel better. But I have to just force myself to do it because I really don't like to exercise. I love being outside, but I really don't like to exercise very much, other than walking is okay. But in Japan, I think they call it nature bathing. And it's really the idea of particularly getting out in the forest. And I think now there have actually been some studies that show there is some science behind that trees release certain chemicals that make us feel happy. And so exercising in nature is another way to help calm yourself down and to feel less anxious. Another thing I use, this is a weighted heating pad. You can put it in the microwave and put it wherever you want, or in the freezer, but it has weight to it, and it just helps you feel less anxious having that warmth and that weight. The thing that helps me personally most is prayer. The idea of putting it in God's hands and just letting go of it. Another thing that helps is deep breathing exercises. And all I'm talking about is taking a deep breath in and then taking about twice as long to let it out. And think about it. When you're upset, what do you naturally do? You sigh. See, you're automatically giving your body what it wants. I'm always looking for ways to lower my anxiety. And I was telling John Wayne that when I was a little kid, I always slept with a teddy bear, and that teddy bear gave me great comfort. I couldn't go to sleep without that teddy bear. My grandpa had given me that teddy bear, and his name was Teddy. And I slept with him until I was well into my teenage years. And I remember as a teenager feeling like, I was like 13, 14, I'm too old to be sleeping with a teddy bear. But I could not give that teddy bear up. And I finally did quit sleeping with the teddy bear, but it was like withdrawal. And I don't know why I felt like I had to do that, but I did. But anyway, I just started thinking about how sleeping with that teddy bear gave me a great sense of comfort as a child. And so I was telling him that story. So he bought me something as a gift, and I really, really like it. And I'm sure it's based on the story of the teddy bear, but he bought me a stuffed cat. Now this cat, who I have named Winnie, because Winifred in Welsh means something like trusted friend or peaceful companion, something like that. So I named her Winnie. And the thing that's unique about this stuffed cat is she has a heartbeat, she meows, and she purrs. And it's the idea that holding her and petting her, listening to that purring sound, having that weight on your chest is one of the things that lessens anxiety. Think about it. When do you feel most relaxed? You hold a baby on your chest and you're patting that baby. Is there any better feeling than that? I've never found one. And so my stuffed cat is much like that. Now, I think she was rather expensive, but she was a gift from my husband, and I love her. I'll put a link to her in the description of this video, and I'll let you know if she lessens my anxiety, but I think she probably will. I have an outdoor cat, and when I have felt really anxious or in times of grief, tried to bring that cat inside. We usually call her Sissy. Her real name's Tesla. She freaks out because we got her as a barn cat. She was born to a barn cat mom. She grew up in a barn. She's always lived in our barn. And when I try to bring her in the house, that cat goes insane. She does not want to be in the house because from time to time I've tried to bring her in and pet her when I was feeling anxious, and she will have nothing to do with it. And the reason she can't be inside full time is because John Wayne is really, really allergic to cats. And so I can't have a cat inside the house because he would just be broke out and his eyes would water and he'd be sneezing and coughing the entire time if I have a cat in the house full time. So I don't want to do that to him. And I like my outside cat. When I'm outside, you know, I can sit and pet her, but oftentimes at night in bed or sitting around watching TV, I'm like, man, I wish I could have a cat sitting on my lap. Well, now I do. And I'm going to introduce you to her. Like I said, her name is Winnie, and she meows. She responds to her name, Winnie. You can program them to respond to their name or different prompts. And she purrs. So hold on. When I pet her, she purrs. And when I just put my hand on her, she has a heartbeat. And she meows. You can touch her in different parts of her body, and she has several different meows that she makes. And it's just the idea of the weight and the having something to do with your hands, of petting. She's very soft. That brings you comfort, even though she's not a real cat. I think these comfort animals would be really good for children. I wish I had known about them when my grandson was about 3. He had a lot of trouble staying in bed. He always wanted to go get in bed with his parents, and he was always afraid at night. And if he'd had a stuffed animal like this that you could pet and it would purr and meow, it might have been very comforting to him. I have heard they give them to children with cancer a lot as comfort. And I have heard they're used a lot with dementia patients or in nursing homes because of that comfort that people feel from the stuffed animal. So when I was a little kid and I had to have that teddy bear to go to sleep and it brought me so much comfort, perhaps this cat will do the same thing. Or just sitting around the house. I just like seeing her. It's a reminder that I have a husband who loves me a lot. He will be a forever treasure. And they'd sell other stuffed animals like this that don't have all the interactive stuff. They don't have the heartbeat and purr and all of that. But you can put them in the microwave. And so they're weighted and they're microwavable, and children can take them to bed and have that warmth and comfort. And it's really the weight, though, that is providing that feeling of like a hug. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. We all have little things that we do to make ourselves feel less anxious. So if you've got a good tip, be sure and share it. And if you got anything out of this video, please give me a like, comment, share, subscribe. All of those things help me out. Now, John Wayne and I have been gone a lot this week. We had to do a run. Went up to Iowa to pick up a travel trailer that had been donated by some very generous people to be used in disaster areas. So we drove all the way up to Iowa, almost to Sioux Falls, and picked up this travel trailer, and then we drove it all the way down to near Denton, Texas, and dropped it off. And I'm not sure where it will go from there because there are so many disaster areas right now. Anyway, let's try to keep positive thoughts. Let's try to be supportive of one another, and I will talk to you soon. It's not every day you see a water tower shaped like a coffee pot, unless you live in Nebraska. That's kind of cool. Wow, I guess it's great to be a dog in Oklahoma. Another gourmet meal that I packed for the trip. That's so hard not to eat fast food. Now that looks like a great sub. Plus we got these cheese puffs and carrots.